Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Gauge. I'm the MysteriousJG. I'm in a Zodiac mood because I had a lot of driving to do recently, and I killed some of the time by listening to like a whole bunch, like hours, of All Dragons Let's Play of Final Fantasy Tactics without being able to see it. And there's an awful lot of shared stuff between these games, obviously both set in the world of Ivalice. Although Ivalice is a world whose continents and cities shift from game to game, but they tend to both have, people spelling magic with a K, for example. Anyway, I don't know if separation anxiety is setting in yet, but we're running out of things to do in this game. I've done a fairly comprehensive playthrough here, as evidenced by the fact that we're well over 100 videos in and no one's watching anymore. But the main thing I wanted to do is make sure I did all the hunt missions. Like, there's a fishing minigame I still haven't explored, and I might not. Although, honestly, I'm feeling some vague internal pressure to do it, if only because, like, one of the great ultimate hidden weapons of the game, like the classic example of the weapon that there's nothing left to do in the game by the time you've unlocked it, because you need to defeat, I believe, Omega Weapon and Yazamat, the two ultimate super bosses we haven't fought yet, before you can unlock it, because each of them drops an item that you would use in a 3-item recipe to get this ultimate super weapon. And the third item is unlocked by the fishing minigame. So it really is just like, if you have this item in your inventory, there's nothing left in the game that you could possibly need it to defeat. But still, nonetheless, I'm vaguely thinking about trying to do the fishing minigame. But there's not that much online about the fishing minigame, because I don't think anybody ever does it. Maybe it's really straightforward and there's not much to it, but I feel like you probably have to go like 100 different locations and do this boring-ass fishing minigame to unlock whatever the third item in the recipe to get the ultimate weapon is. One thing we can do, though, is finish all the hunt missions, and we've got one left that's showing here, and I believe unlocking that mission will probably... Although I'm confused now, it's showing us as having 7, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. I don't remember exactly how many hunt missions there are, but it feels weird that it would end at 44. But I believe if we do this one, I don't know what we haven't unlocked yet, but the very last hunt mission only unlocks when you've beaten pretty much all the others. At any rate, if we go to, there's another monster at Pharaoh / Rotorand Cataract. Maybe we just haven't. Maybe we have to beat this, and then a 44 unlocks, and then when we beat 44, 45 unlocks, and that's Yazamat. Omega Weapon and Yazamat are the two ultimate super bosses in this game. If you do the trial mode, it's different. You do nothing but fight bosses, and like level 200 of the trial mode gives you a special fight that we can't do in game, where you fight all of the judge magisters at once, including ones that you never fight in the main story, and it is considered the most difficult fight in the game. And we're not going to do it because I'd have to play through all, I don't know if it's 100 levels or 200 levels, but we'd have to go through like 200 levels worth of stuff to get to it, and it's the only thing that's not already part of the main game in some form. But Omega Weapon in this game is not a hunt mission. It's a secret boss that just only can be fought after you've unlocked the last hunt mark boss, and the last hunt mark boss is Yazamat. So I think we have probably this boss and then another one that will unlock when we beat it before we get the two ultimate super bosses. But I mean, Ixion, we know what Ixion is. Ixion is Eunice's horse. Pharaoh at Reed Arena, but be prepared for a search. Well, I'm mildly surprised. Okay, so I looked up where this one is, and I'm mildly surprised we haven't already gotten it. Because it's in that Subterrera level that we've already been hanging around in. We went down there and fought like several... Like, I never in my PS2 playthrough of this game... I never fought Yazamat at all. I found how to get to Hellworm, and thought that was the ultimate super boss because it was taking like, it was apparent it was going to take like a long time to kill, and I just lost interest. So I've already, on PS4, done things I never did on PS2 of this game. But, yeah, I never went to Pharos Subterra at all. I didn't know about that dungeon and just didn't do it. So I never fought any of these bosses that we're dealing with now. Anyway, without knowing precisely what the strategy is for this boss, I'm under the impression this boss is pretty simple compared to some things we've already beaten, like Zodiac and Hellworm. I was really underwhelmed by Shadow Seer. That just seemed like a really easy fight. I don't want to sound super overconfident, though. I feel like Ultima Weapon and particularly Yazamat are going to be nasty. Let's make sure. Apparently, like, I couldn't help myself. I did a little reading up on this fight. Apparently, if we were to equip items that make us immune, because it's Ixion. It's like the game's big lightning boss. Apparently, if we were to fight enemies that use equipment that makes us immune to lightning, like the battle would be a complete, you could like sleep through it kind of fight. But I mostly read up on this boss because I was trying to make sure I knew where it was, and that was like a night or two ago, and I actually. Why are you so freaking close, Pinello? You're the freaking gun wielder. I guess that's my fault because we ran away from these enemies, but. So she should be in the back, shooting at enemies while Ash stabs them. But it was a couple of nights ago I was reading about this boss, and I kind of forget which level of this thing it is. If it's Penumbra, Subterra, whatever. I think we're probably at the wrong level. Because it did say be prepared for a search. You know what? I'm sorry. I will try to vamp and chat for a second. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quick look up exactly where it is instead of looking for it. So it'll save us a little bit of time. Ixion FFX do. And Penumbra Interior of Subterra. Penumbra Interior of Subterra. Okay, that took less time. We are at the Penumbra. So we didn't really want to go to a different level, but we are at Penumbra Interior. Did we not talk to the person who gives us the hunt? Maybe we didn't. I thought we did, but maybe we didn't. Maybe it's one of those where you have to clear the entire level of enemies. Several of the hunt missions, the hardest part is actually getting the monster to spawn. I don't think we're going to defeat the thing so quickly and easily that we won't even notice we were fighting a boss. And that being the case, I feel like... Jeez. Even if we did, we would get that message. Oh, there's a bull Abaddon. Even if we were to do that, I think we would. Okay, that killed the bull Abaddon. I was kind of hoping that would kill the bull Abaddon because it was getting on my nerves. But yeah, even if we do that, we'll still get the message hunt completed. So, like the game will stop for a second to give us a little sound cue and tell us we defeated a hunt. So we just keep going in circles until I'm fairly confident nothing else is going to show up, and if nothing else shows up, I guess we because it even says it's the interior. It's not the north or the south, because there are little like hidden passages. You could be like, oh, there's a little corner I didn't get to, or a little boss chamber that's kind of scrolled away behind a false wall. No. So if we just can't get them to spawn, I guess we go back to the town, and I thought that was him for a second. It's going to be a reskin of possibly larger, but it's going to be a reskin of these nightmare enemies. It's Ixion the Lightning Horse. It's pretty standard Final Fantasy enemy going back to, I don't know, whichever game first threw out the espers. Alright, I guess we didn't talk to the guy in Barfelheim, Port, like I thought we had. So we might have a whole video of nothing but finding Ixion. Later on, unless I decide to spare you guys the agony, we might have a whole video of nothing but getting to Omega Weapon, because I'm under the distinct impression that Omega Weapon, although the game doesn't tell you about it at all and makes it even more secret to find than Yazamat, which you're literally like told if you beat all the other hunt missions, hey, last hunt mission, Yazamat, he's badass. Although he might not unlock unless you face Hellworm, and Hellworm's not a hunt mission either. But no, Yazamat is supposed to be harder than Omega Weapon. So if we beat Ixion and that unlocks the Yazamat hunt, you can't fight Omega Weapon until Yazamat hunt is available. You can beat Yazamat first, but we will not. We will go defeat Omega Weapon before we defeat Yazamat. And there could be a whole video's worth of navigating that fucking crystal maze one more time, trying to get to him. Unfortunately for us, I believe the, teleporting in and out that Pharos, Subterra, Abyssal, whatever, is going to be completely restocked with generic enemies for us to fight when we get back. So he is at the bar. Where else would he be? Oh, and we've achieved the rank of Knights of the Round. So we are the best summon attack in Final Fantasy VII, I guess. That game's game-breaking attack. Did you know all dragons ever beaten Final Fantasy VII? Oh my god. This is something that came up. I don't think Ald's watching this LP. Or maybe he is. This was something that came up in Final Fantasy Tactics. Although my favorite part about Final Fantasy Tactics, anytime I was listening to an interlude video, although eventually Ald went back and in one big bulk sitting read through all of the journal entry results of the treasure hunts and side little missions that you send your generics out on. For the most part, like, they would come back and do their description where instead of saying this mission was a gift from God, they would say our fortune could not be greater. But they never actually seem to address what the fuck the mission was. Like, there's one where, like, you know, you're sent to investigate what some kids are up to, and they just come back and say, we found a reward. And like, you're like, wait, well, what were the kids up to? Redis is gone. Oh no, it's true. Boo-hoo. Sure is. I guess we never really found out. Hey, Bob, I'd never heard of that, eh? Never really talked to these people now that Redis is dead. Thank you. Let me tell you more of this legend. Long ago, a dire stallion there was stabled here in Balfenheim. Each night, it would kick and neigh so loudly that none could sleep. They would turn it out into Serab's steppe, only to have it return. Finally, they set it adrift in a boat after it washed ashore at Ridorana. Ever since, you can hear its cries on the sleepless nights, the cries of Ixion. Please slay this monster. I will know no true rest until it is done. Okay, so there was a horse, and you put it out on a boat to go starve to death, and now you want me to ensure it's dead. This quest was given to you by Ultimate Horse Hater. Now, I mean, once we find Ixion, you'll see that it's a rather quarrelsome and difficult horse to deal with indeed, but still, the idea that they set it out adrift to starve to death in the ocean, and now they feel like I can't sleep because I'm thinking about it. I need to know it's truly dead. This is fucked up. This is Choco Cannon fucked up because, yes, in my, like I said, I had a bunch of driving to do and listened to hours of Final Fantasy Tactics, which included learning about the Choco Cannon. All right, Ixion, we're coming for you, horsey. Alright, Penumbra, I think, was it. And if it just, like, shows up right away, like it's waiting for us immediately, that will reconfirm what I already pretty much know, which is based on the way she described this, and that I didn't already remember this. I guess I just never spoke to the person who gives you the hunt. And I thought I had. We gotta fight the dumbass frogs again. We're going to make monster bubbles. That is a meaningless Mystery Science Theater reference. They were using aqua bubbles. I said monster bubbles. I don't even know what monster bubbles are. It's just something that got referred to in Mighty Jack. Sometimes Joel, I love the Joel episodes are still my favorite. Even though I think most people, by the time the series had reached its completion, most people really preferred Mike as the host, and it was probably a more general audience friendly, less like obsessive, just fans of the show friendly thing. But I always preferred Joel, and love Mike, preferred Joel. He was just the host when I started watching, but every so often he would just throw out a reference and you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Was that like some obscure like local advertisement that was airing only in like the Minnesota, Wisconsin broader area, because it hasn't aired on TV in like 30 years, because I have no idea what you're referring to, but his commitment to any gag. We're going to make monster bubbles. Then again, if I were to Google monster bubbles, it might turn out it's a super well-known toy or something from a previous era. So now we got Ash up to level 82. You know, the real reason I read about Ixion and some of the other bosses the other night and refresh my memory, is like I was in a Final Fantasy Tactics mood, but too tired to play too tired to play this game after my big car trip where I watched listened to all the Final Fantasy Tactics. And I thought, well, maybe instead of recording, I'll just grind for levels while I listen to something on TV, because I got an hour before I want to go to bed. But then I was like, no, I'm high enough level to beat anything. That would be a waste of time unless I just really specifically want to not be at a level that's divisible by like if I just like I'm gonna level up characters until I'm at a prime number level. So I actually read up last night on Ixion, and what I think I found out is that neither Ixion nor Omega Weapon nor Yazamat, I don't think any of them have like level blank spells. Like Gilgamesh was thrown out like level 5 death, level 4 the bio or whatever the fuck. I don't think any of I don't think it matters anymore. I think that ship has sailed. So this is a regular Mistmare, and it was doing some statusy thing because I saw the word immune, unless it was immune to disable, because I think Penelo's bullets cause disable or something like that is going on. Yeah, we're dealing out some damage here. I do have a weird sort of separation anxiety with this game. I've been playing it for a long time now for this LP. And this game is super frustrating in the PS2. Just all the big empty map areas, all the running around you do when you can't speed stuff up through, like, just empty. You spend a lot of time waiting to get to the next thing that is going to be exciting and engaging. And I remember this game, I remember really wanting this game to be just a little better than it was. And I really remember, because there's so many things about the design that are just, I love about this game. But I really remember having liked almost all of the characters and just wished that there was more of them. You spend so much of this game with your characters just not doing any, or like not talking. And fights like this, like, I'm going to fight Ixion now. Like, I remember when I read up somewhere about XII in this game, the amount of time it took to fight and do all the things to unlock, like, because you have to go through the sewer puzzle again, and you have to, like, you know, make sure you open floodgate A, but leave floodgate B closed, and blah, 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 and just, when you're not speeding up like this, everything literally takes 4 times as long. Like, by the time I got to XII and I wasn't able to beat him on the first try, really frustrating. But some of these bosses, like, this game has a ton of bosses, and each one feels like a much bigger deal when there's a whole lot more work to go to find them and get, you know, I don't know. I'm vamping here because I'm waiting to frickin' find Ixion. And I'm starting to get frustrated, and I'm reminding myself, like, I love the character design, I love the music, I love the world building. This is the type of thing that I would have been at this now for close to an hour at this point if I didn't have speed up. I keep slowing down, thinking that, hey, that's finally Ixion, right? Because I don't think this is going to be a fight where we're going to get like a cinematic introduction of Ixion and the boss music. We're just going to be fighting a big monster in this room while the regular room theme plays. Alright, what the hell, game? I talked to the person. I'm in Penumbra. Penumbra Interior. Let me actually open the article. That's only on any of the 3 floors. Oh, well, crap. It said specifically Penumbra Interior, which is this level, but it said the lift must be coming down from the 1st floor. If there are other monsters around, the player should kill all enemies in the area, then take the lift back up to the 1st floor and try again. Oh, God. The lift must be coming down from the 1st floor. If there are other monsters around... I don't understand what it's saying at all. Okay, literally what this guide says is, Ixion can be found at Pharos' Subterra, which is the name of the dungeon that I'm in, on any of the floors, even though up above it says its location is interior. Oh, its location is interior, Umbra. Never mind. I misread it. It can be in any of the 3 floors. Apparently it's not on this one. If there are other monsters around, the player should kill all enemies in this area, then take the lift back up to the 1st floor and try again until there are no enemies around. Oh. That doesn't seem to make sense. Well, if I keep reading, though, it doesn't seem like you would need to do that, because it does say, running around the circle for a while, Ixion will show up. Ixion's spawn chance increase 6% every 12 seconds spent in the area, reaching 100% after 204 seconds. How the hell do you know that? So it seems like if I keep running around in circles, it should spawn, but it also suggests go up and down a level until no enemies spawn. When I see that target is too far away from the party leader, I keep thinking maybe they started fighting some enemies, but I think it just means So we'll go to the we're at the penumbra. We'll go to the umbra. We'll kill enemies here. Whatever. This video is going to go slightly long. Just getting to the damn thing. Oh. This is entertaining. Yeah, me singing along with the music, singing in quotes, is very entertaining.